there are renegotiations with ourselves throughout our lives, right? Where we recommit to this work. Sometimes the reasons for our work in the social justice space change. For right now, for me, it's all the things I mentioned. And also, it's a lot about community, right? Seeing my friends being attacked in different ways or navigating their challenges, and also being a not new now, but first time mom wanting to protect my child, right? And leave a better world for him. I've been thinking a lot about this lately, like in terms of being drawn to social justice. This is my theory, right? Or way to explain it, but it's very personal, right? Whether you grew up as a member of a marginalized community or had a very personal interaction with something or somebody that shaped your life in such a way that you were drawn to that path. And sometimes I think it just takes a lot of work and self exploration, therapy, professional development training, just sitting down with yourself to understand like why you want to do what you want to do. Right. And I think for me, that's why I say it wasn't necessarily one thing. I think a lot of people have a defining moment or circumstance that places them on that path. For me, it was more of a feeling or inclination or almost like a magnetism that I've had to dig more into over time and understand why am I drawn to this? What do I want to do in a way that's authentic, right? So for me, when I initially started out working in social justice nonprofits, it was more at the high level of like, I want to do good in the world, right? And I think that's a great feeling to have. And I think the more you get into the work and the more personal it becomes and the harder it becomes, we have to really understand what's behind that and also dig into like why us, right? So for me, that's been a big exploration over particularly the past 5 years, I would say, maybe more than that, of what does it mean for me to hold these dual identities of being white and also Muslim,
Right.
in a place of power and also in privilege and also discrimination. Like it's a very strange place at times. And
Y-
I've had to come, it's what's the word, like a cognitive dissonance almost at some times. And I've had to really do a lot of deep work, both myself and professionals with friends to understand that identity in order to access the essentially justice work in a way that's meaningful and authentic to again that plugs the vision as an individual into the best in its LPD and into the system. And I think sometimes if you're just starting out or you don't have that personal understanding, it can stay at that high level, like, yeah, I want to do good. And there's nothing wrong with that. But again, I think as your journey goes on, it's important to constantly ask yourself those questions. Like, why am I doing this? What draws me to it? What's my goal? What if I don't achieve something that is tangible or that I can see? Is it still going to be meaningful? Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's just this. eh, And again, life happens, right? Maybe you become a parent or like, you lose your job, you do this, you do that, you're part of a natural disaster, whatever it is, and things change for you, right? And you have to be just in a good relationship with yourself to understand that to in order to plug into the work in the best way that you could be. Understanding your place in the ecosystem is one of the things this taught me, right? So I've always struggled throughout my career with like I'm not a frontline activist organizer person. I'm just not. Like, it's not who I am. It's not my personality. It's not where my skill set is. And doing the exploration to understand where your skill set is and then owning that and growing into it. It's not to say you can't change over time. Lots of people have career changes or even with us in the same sector. But like they're all valuable, right? And I think sometimes, a lot of times in social justice, we think of like the sexy organizer, policy, advocacy person, this and that. And we disregard the people who are working in finance or administration who are keeping these things going, right?
Well,
Fundraising. For me, it's been more of the behind the scenes, right? In program officer or as a consultant, right? I'm not in the halls of Congress, right? But I'm helping maybe get the funding or some of the ideas, or I'm bringing a group together who don't know each other, right? Playing a connector role, that kind of thing.
mm,
So, I think really valuing and not discounting whatever your work is, because we need all of those people and no one is like higher in the hierarchy, right? all these personalities we read about in history, or all the people who changed the world, there were systems behind this, right? To be able to do that. And so even if you're not the person, you're part of that system, and that's really important.